The motor skill that we are focusing on today will be the ground portion of the pole vault. Our learner is a beginner that is completely new to the skill. By the end of the video, our athlete will be able to consistently perform the 3-step approach, an important fundamental in pole vaulting. The critical factors of this motor skill include placing the dominant hand at the top of the hip and the non-dominant hand at chest level, initiating a run with the non-jumping foot, elevate the pole on the step prior to the jump, and to drive the knee up at takeoff. Flexible factors include distance between hands when holding the pole, wrist orientation, stride length, running mechanics, and pole angle to an extent. Here is our expert performing the final motor skill. Our final motor skill is classified as 1D because the regulatory conditions are stable, there is no intertrial variability, there is body transport, as well as object manipulation. Meet our learner, Kyle. He's a beginner and has never attempted pole vaulting before. In this video, we will be incorporating an external focus of attention and progression using classification of motor skills to teach him. We will begin with the start position. Our exercise will consist of Kyle performing repetitions of the start position in place. This is classified as 1A on Gentile's taxonomy. To get Kyle to achieve the correct limb position, we will tell him to look at his watch and karate chop his pocket. Adding in this external focus of attention will remind him to keep his hand slightly above his hip and the other at chest level. Then he will practice both movements together for 10 repetitions. Next, we will split up the movements in his upper and lower body so he can learn them one at a time. Here, we will have Kyle practice his upper limb movements in addition with the start position. The movement will still be classified as 1A. Kyle is told to answer the phone and reach for the sky to get the pole into the optimal position. Once Kyle has mastered the upper limb movement, he will now perform the movements with the count or cadence of the approach. He will answer the phone on 5 and reach for the sky on 6. Perform this 10 times. We will now work on the movements of the lower body. Kyle will be marching in place to mimic the 6-step approach. He will drive his knee up on the last step to imitate the jump at the end of the approach. Again, this is still considered to be 1A under Gentile's classification of motor skills. Finally, we will add both the upper and lower body movements together with the approaches count. Perform 15 successful trials before moving on. The next drill will involve walking while holding the start position to familiarize the learner with the correct form while moving. As a result, this movement is classified as 1C because regulatory conditions are still stable, there is no intertrial variability, no object manipulation, but there is body transport. Since this is to familiarize the learner, perform only 1 or 2 repetitions. Continuing forward, we will now incorporate the previous upper limb movements and knee drive while walking. Again, this is still categorized as 1C. After 15 successful trials, add in a jump at the end of the approach. To increase difficulty, we will go from a walk to a jog and a jog to a run. Perform 15 successful trials of each before moving on. Next, we will add the pole. This action is now categorized as 1D because of the added object manipulation. The regulatory conditions are stable, there is no intertrial variability, and body transport is occurring. When adding the pole, we had Kyle start at the approach while walking because we increased the complexity of the motor skill. Have the learner work their way up to jogging and then running after 15 successful trials or when they are confident, just like the previous drill.